Hey everybody, Rocky Mountain Figures here. Today, I am going to get into my top 10 MCU legends of all time. So just like with the last video, I also took a look at all my MCU figures, and based on 6 criterias, I picked 10 to be my top 10 Marvel Legends figures. So the 6 criterias being: number 1, excited when I got it; number 2, fun to pose or fun to play with; number 3, great sculpt, great paint; number 4, great to take pictures with or good in pictures; number 5, connection with the character in the MCU; and number 6, great accessories or amount of accessories. So based on those 6 criteria, I picked 10 legends. Unfortunately, the figures that you see before you are not in the top 10. These are actually all my honorable mentions. Figures that are actually good, but just didn't make the cut for me. So without further ado, let's get into the rules real quick. So rule number 1, no comic book figures. This is strictly MCU based. If you want to go check out my comic book top 10 Marvel Legends of all time, you can go check out the last video. I'll leave a picture up on screen right now. It's actually the video that I posted before this one. And then number 2, no baths at all. I'm actually going to save that for a future video, which is actually going to be my next video after this one. Then number 3, this is all subjected to what I own. So only the figures that I own are on this list. So figures that I don't own, I cannot add to this list. And then rule number 4, I can't add more of one character on this list. So I can't have 2 Iron Man figures. I can't have 3 Captain Americas. That's 4. I can't have 4 Thors. You know what I mean. I can't add more of one character, just to make it fair for all my figures. And then my final rule, number 5, is this is all subjected to my opinion. So if you don't see a figure that you like on this list, don't worry. I don't have anything against you. It just means that, you know, this is just my opinion. And again, based on those 6 personal criterias, you know, they made it to the top 10. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the top 10 MCU legends. So at my number 10 spot, here I have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man figure. And this figure is a pretty fun figure, man. For a Spider-Man figure, it is one of the best. Now, it's not my favorite costume in the whole Spider-Man movie series, but it is definitely one of the best. And this figure represents it very well. And also, the articulation is pretty good. It's got the butterfly joints, got the double jointed elbows, full range of motion. The accessories on this thing is also pretty good. This is a pretty cool figure to have. I highly recommend it if you don't have it, especially since, you know, the Far From Home red and black version of Spider-Man in Marvel Legends is not very good. So now let's get into my number 9 spot. And at the number 9 spot, here I have the Marvel Legends Marvel Studios 10th Anniversary Crossbones from the Crossbones and Captain America 2-pack. This figure is amazing, man. I love the sculpt and paint on this figure. I think that's the number one thing. And even with this vest on, the articulation is still pretty good. And yeah, I love playing with this guy. I love messing with them, because even with this restriction, he can still get into a lot of cool poses, a lot of awesome punching and fighting stances and whatnot. The paint is absolutely stellar. I just love the paint, and I love the head sculpts as well. Of course, I don't have the other head sculpt to show, but both head sculpts are painted very nicely. Let's get into my number 8 spot. And at the number 8 spot, here we have another Spider-Man figure. Here we have the Marvel Legends Far From Home Mysterio figure. The sculpting work is absolutely amazing, even better than the Crossbones. I mean, they got texture in all the right places right there, and all the greens, and of course they got this awesome chest plate right here, and the helmet. Don't get me started with this helmet. I love the pearlescent like shine that it has on top of the color. It just makes it pop on the shelf. I guess the only complaints I actually have about this figure are like the lack of accessories and this right here, this QC issue where this is all chipped off and whatnot, where this is like straight. But it is what it is. This figure is still amazing, and it has great articulation and whatnot. The cape is also great. But now let's get into our number 7 spot. And in the next place, here I have the Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch figure. this figure is a blast to have. I think the first release of this figure I missed out on, but you know, I have to give him a shout out. My brother, who also did one of the last videos or last reviews, he got me this for my graduation. I actually saw it in the Toys R Us, and then right behind me he snatched it up, and then he was like, "Oh no, you're gonna wait for this. I'm gonna give you if you graduate." I'm like, "Oh, at least I don't have to pay for it." So then I did graduate, obviously, because I'm smart, and I got the 2-pack, and this figure is so awesome. Just the face printing tech on it is so well done. And the accessories, she didn't have to come with much, she just had to come with these accessories, which are very nice. And of course, the Vision figure is a nice addition, even though he's not a part of this top 10 list. But this figure is a very nice figure, and the articulation for a female figure is actually really good. So without further ado, let's get into our next place. So in 6th place, here I have the Marvel Legends Vibranium Suit Black Panther, the purple variant of it, of course. This figure, initially, I was not excited for because I already own the depowered version of this without the purple. But honestly, just the purple in this suit brings out all the nice details in this figure. And of course, it comes with really nice accessories. Better accessories than the first release, because the first release had like the fake Chadwick Boseman head, and then it had, you know, just a couple of I think that was just my main complaint was the head. This one came with, oh, and he fell. This one came with a way better head sculpt than the first one that actually looks like him. And of course, it came with 2 pairs of hands and whatnot. So automatically for me, this figure beats it. Even though I still like that first release figure, this figure for me is my favorite MCU Black Panther. And just my favorite Black Panther of all time, especially since none of them went to the top 10 in my last video. But anyway, let's head into our top 5. So making it into my top 5, here I have the Marvel Legends Black Widow Movie Wave Taskmaster figure. And even though this is recently released, this figure is still awesome. I mean, the sculpt, the paint, the everything. I think when it comes to the MCU figures, really, the sculpt and paint are probably the #1 thing that helps it make it to the top 10. And Taskmaster absolutely exceeds. He also comes with a bunch of nice accessories. Now, I hope they do justice to the Taskmaster character in the movies. I hope they, you know, make him a good character, you know, no matter what he or she is. But, you know what? You know, this is still a good figure and fun figure to have. And no matter what, this will always be one of my favorites. Now, let's get into my number 4 spot. And at the number 4 spot, here we have another recently released figure. This is the Marvel Legends Black Widow Movie Wave Winter Suit Black Widow figure. And this figure makes it on the top, of course, because of the sculpt and paint, and also because of the amount of accessories that she comes with. Not only just the deluxe accessories, but the accessories that are, you know, primarily for her. So, you know, just because of that, she definitely makes it in the top 4. And this figure's awesome. The sculpt, the paint, the face printing tech looks very, very nice. I really do like it a lot. I just remembered that she doesn't actually have this hairstyle in the movie, so that's a little bit of an inaccuracy. But, you know, I don't really mind. This is still a nice figure. The face is still very nice. The hair is also very painted very nicely. And yeah. And also, before I go on, the mod didn't really work for me. I did the rubber band mod, as you know, in one of my quarantine videos, where I put the rubber bands on her thighs, and they were supposed to close them in and fix them. But, you know, over the night, her legs went back into the same position. So, I think the dude that I based the mod off of, he did make a follow-up video, so I'll have to check that out. I'll let you guys know how it works out. But anyway, we're going to head into our top 3. Haha, making it into the top 3, here we have the Marvel Legends 10th Anniversary Thanos figure. You guys obviously should have known that I was going to add this figure. This figure is definitely one of my favorites. This is definitely a better figure than the BAF. I'm glad they re-released this. I wasn't even going to try to complete that BAF like everyone else was, because I knew something was going to happen, and all of a sudden, this figure just shows up out of nowhere in a 3-pack, and man, oh man, I love this one. I mean, look at that texture, bro. Texture looks nice, and then you got the, You get the metallic gold on the top, and of course the face printing tech looks so much better on this one than it does on the BAF. And Infinity Gauntlet also looks very nice as well. Everything about this figure is great. So now let's get into our top 2. And at the number 2 spot, almost hitting it at number 1, here we have the Marvel Legends 10th Anniversary Mark 7 Iron Man figure. This figure has been one of my most requested Iron Man suits of all time. I really wanted another Avengers Iron Man figure. With the announcement of the 10th Anniversary Iron Man figure, I got so excited, man. I was so pumped, and when I got it, this figure was just awesome to have. The articulation setup, including these back wings right here, just looks so awesome, man. Oh man, that's awesome. I don't know, it's just so satisfying to open up and whatnot. And of course the accessories that it comes with, and the interchangeable hands as well. And just this is my favorite Iron Man suit in the movies, bro. I love this suit, man. Now let's get into our number 1. And at my number 1 spot, I have my favorite MCU character of all time, and this figure absolutely does the character justice and is one of my favorite action figures just of all time in general. This is the Marvel Legends Worthy Captain America figure, and man oh man, I'm very stoked to have this figure on the number 1 of my favorite MCU figures. This figure is amazing, has a very great sculpt, very amazing sculpting work, good accessories, and just is overall a great figure. I absolutely love this figure. This is one of my favorite Captain Americas in general. But nevertheless, I also have a special figure in my special tier, so let's get into that right now. So bringing out my top 10 MCU legends of all time, here they are once again. This list was another fun one to make. I really enjoyed going through all my MCU figures once again, and just looking at the ones that I love, looking at the ones that I like. And no matter what, I always like all my MCU legends and all my legends in general and all my action figures. But these are my top 10 MCU legends of all time. Again, if you want to go watch the top 10 comic book legends of all time, you can go head into my channel, and that will be the last video before this one. So make sure you guys watch that one. That was another fun one to make. And yeah, let's get to our special tier. So just like last video, I do have a special tier. I do have a special figure that is one of my favorite legends. Now, I don't know if you will consider her MCU anymore, especially since they're kind of rebooting him into the MCU. But here I have my Marvel Legends Daredevil from the Daredevil Netflix series, and this figure is awesome, man. I love this figure. This is one of my favorites. I don't have him posed up like the Superior Spider-Man, but because I just brought him out right now. But this is one of my favorites. Just the details and the texture on it is amazing. It's fun to pose. It's got great articulation, and of course the accessories. And Rip Daredevil, man. That show was amazing. It's actually my favorite show of all time. So the fact that they canceled it after 3 seasons, especially on a cliffhanger, was very disappointing. But at least he'll actually come to the MCU, and hopefully that rumor is true, where he will appear in Spider-Man 3, which is going to be one of the craziest crossovers ever, man. So this figure is special to my heart. But now, concluding the video, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment your top 10 MCU legends of all time, and feel free to subscribe, as I'm pushing out a lot of videos, and I'm going to have a display video or room tour video update very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But as always, I'm Rocky Mountain Figures, and I'll see you guys next time. It's got the butterfly joints, the double jointed elbows. It also comes with a good amount of it's my dog right there. Benny, stop it! The sculpting and the painting is absolutely amazing, and I can just hear my Roomba in the background. Oh my goodness, let's start over.